I hope all of you are able to see the board. Okay. So today, my friends, we are starting with the perquisite. In between, if there will be any technical issue or my voice is breaking or there is a problem with the screen, then you can unmute yourself and you can discuss your concern. Okay. My dear friends, till now, when we talk about the salaries, we have already discussed about the basic salary head and the allowances. Within basic salary, we have also discussed the retirement emoluments and cases, how to calculate the exemption and all. Within allowances, we have already discussed which allowances are exempt or the exemption of the allowances calculated in the different bases. Now we come to the third section, which is known as the perquisites. When we talk about the perquisites, so we have discussed in the earlier classes as well that if you talk about the salary head, so it says कि employer employee की relationship से आपको जो भी मिला है, and if it is not exempt under the provisions of the income tax act, it is going to be taxable. So चाहे वो सैलरी के फॉर्म में है, वेजेस के फॉर्म में है, प्रॉफिट के फॉर्म में है, या किसी और इमोल्यूमेंट्स के फॉर्म में है, or it is given in form of certain kind of allowances to meet out certain expenditure, so that is going to be taxable. If we talk about the perquisites, so generally when we talk about the perquisites, we say certain kind of benefits. So certain kind of benefits, whether these are received in form of cash, or we can talk about the reimbursements, or we can say that the benefits received in kind, right? तो अगर एम्प्लॉयर एम्प्लॉय की रिलेशनशिप की वजह से आपको कोई भी बेनिफिट मिल रहा है, तो उसकी वैल्यू आपको कैलकुलेट करनी है. तो अभी तक हम क्या कर रहे थे, वी वर टेकिंग द अमाउंट ऑफ विच इज टैक्सेबल, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द एग्जम्पशंस in case of the retirement, in case of the allowances also. When we talk about the perquisites, so what we have to do is that we have to calculate the taxable value of that particular benefit, which is known as perquisite, and this particular benefit value will be added into the gross salary. तो उस केस के अंदर हमें उन परक्विजिट्स की वैल्यू निकालनी होती है. सो इफ यू टॉक अबाउट ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ years, you must have seen that the club facilities are provided by the employers, certain kind of we can say that the car or conveyance is being provided, gym facilities, telephone, laptops, or we can talk about the accommodations, or we can talk any other kind of benefit that can be in terms of getting the insurance of the employee, or that can be in terms of medical facilities or other things, or certain times sometimes educational facility for the children or for the family member or for the employees itself. तो बहुत सारी चीजें बहुत सारे फॉर्म के अंदर आपको बेनिफिट के फॉर्म में मिलेंगी, एंड द रीजन ऑफ गेटिंग दोज बेनिफिट्स इज that because you are in that particular employment, you are working with that organization, you are employee of that organization, that's why you are entitled to receive those benefits. And benefits will differ from your designation and the service agreement terms and conditions. If you talk about the sometimes at the level of the directors or at the higher level, you are also entitled to have the stocks of the कंपनी, यू ऑल्सो गेट द शेयर्स इन द कंपनी. तो बहुत सारी फॉर्म्स के अंदर हमारी जो है परक्विजिट्स हमें मिल सकती हैं. तो उन परक्विजिट्स की टैक्सेबिलिटी और क्या फॉर्म होगा, उसके लिए परक्विजिट्स को जर्नली 5 फॉर्म के अंदर क्लासिफाई करते हैं, जो ब्रॉडली वी डिवाइडेड इनटू टैक्स फ्री परक्विजिट्स and taxable perquisites. And in case of taxable perquisite, we classified it for the all employees and for specified employees. तो ये बेसिक क्लासिफिकेशन आपकी ये रहती है. इसके बाद इफ यू से टैक्स फ्री परक्विजिट, तो टैक्स फ्री परक्विजिट के कोई अलग से सेक्शन नहीं है. सर्टेन टैक्स फ्री परक्विजिट्स आर given that this is the list that these perquisites are fully एग्जाम फ्रॉम टैक्स, तो वो टैक्स फ्री परक्विजिट हो जाएंगी, उसकी हम टैक्सेबल वैल्यू नहीं निकालेंगे. लेकिन कहीं कहीं पे टैक्सेबल परक्विजिट के अंदर भी हमें कहीं कहीं किसी किसी सिचुएशन में सेम परक्विजिट आपकी टैक्स फ्री होगी और किसी किसी सिचुएशन में वो आपकी टैक्सेबल होगी। तो जो ये टैक्स फ्री परक्विजिट वाली वैल्यूज है वो आप इस लिस्ट के अंदर आप ऐड कर सकते हैं टैक्सेबल वाली perquisites की लिस्ट में से। So this is the way, and sometimes you get a short note or a theory question as well on the text-free perquisites sometimes. So certain students, those who do not attempt the practical question or they are more comfortable in attempting the theory question, so they can do so. Probably in the book at one place all the list might be given or might not be given, but you make a list that wherever the text-free perquisite list is given, you keep on adding those text-free perquisites from this section as well. Right now, I have some document for you. I hope you are able to see the screen. Are you able to see the notes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So now, if we talk about the perquisites, so as per perquisite, if we see about the definition, so it is given under section 17, subsection 2. So this particular perquisite is given as per the Income Tax 1961, and as well as over a period of time, the new kind of perquisites or kind of benefits have been included by the amendments in the Annual Finance Act. So when we talk about the perquisite, the very first perquisite is known as the rent free accommodation. So when the rent free accommodation is being provided to the employee, so it means an accommodation is given to the employee for which no rent is charged or very nominal rent is charged. So if no rent is charged, so it will come under the first section, and if some rent is charged, so in that case it will be known as the concessional accommodation. So in case of concessional accommodation, what are the process that when we have to calculate the value of rent free accommodation? So in this particular case, just a second. So when we talk about the value of rent free accommodation, in case of value of rent free accommodation, we have to calculate the taxable value of RFA, that is rent free accommodation. So there are certain provisions or rules are given which we will discuss in detail. So the very first perquisite, which is known as value of rent free accommodation, so we have to calculate as per the rule. And when it says the value of any concession in matter of rent, so this is known as the accommodation provided at concessional rent. Accommodation provided at concessional rent. So in this particular case, what will happen, that where we have to do as per the first step, tax free taxable value of the rent free accommodation, then we have to deduct amount charged from employee. Right. So if suppose the value of the rent-free accommodation comes 72,000 and 2,000 per month is being charged, so 72,000 minus 24,000 will become value of accommodation provided at concessional rent. So first and second remains the calculation or the computation formula remains same. Here we also have to find out that whether the accommodation provided is the furnished or the unfurnished one. So first step which we will calculate for the unfurnished accommodation, and if the any furniture is provided, then we are going to add the cost of furniture, right? So in this particular case, the first perquisite as per section 17 subsection 2 is rent free accommodation provided by the employer. Section 17 subsection 2.2, accommodation provided at the concessional rent. Now in third case, if there is any benefit or amenity is provided free of cost or at concessional rate in the following cases, then he will be known as the specified employee. So as we have discussed that when we talk about the category of taxability of the perquisites, so there we have discussed that the perquisites we have divided in the category of two categories. One that is known as the tax free perquisites, right? first we have discussed about the tax free perquisite which are given separately as well as we have to find out in the list. Second, we have discussed that taxable perquisites for all employees and for specified employees. So when we talk about all employees, तो वो अगर perquisites मिल रही हैं तो irrespective of any reason it is going to be taxable. But specified employees के केस में कुछ perquisites exempt होती हैं. But if we talk about the provision, तो ये practically applicable नहीं होता, because अगर कोई specified employee होगा तो उसको specified employee होने के लिए इन तीन में से कोई एक condition satisfy करनी होगी कि या तो वो डायरेक्टर हो कंपनी में, या उसके पास 20% और मोर इक्विटी शेयर हो, या फिर उसके पास उसकी जो कैश इमोल्यूमेंट्स है वो 50,000 से ज्यादा हो, राइट. सो इन मीन्स कि उसकी मॉनेटरी जो वैल्यू है वो 50,000 से ज्यादा हो. बट इन दिस केस माय फ्रेंड्स, कि अगर कोई आपका टैक्स ब्रैकेट में फॉल कर रहा है तो इट मीन्स उसकी जो मिनिमम मैक्सिमम एग्जम्पशन लिमिट है, अगर हम थर्ड कैटेगरी ले ले, अदर एम्प्लॉयज वाली सीनियर सिटीजन या सुपर सीनियर सिटीजन को सोच छोड़ दें, तो उस केस में उसकी जो इनकम है वो 2,50,000 से ज्यादा होनी चाहिए, राइट. सो ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता, अगर वो टैक्सेबल ब्रैकेट में आएगा तो उसकी इनकम 2,50,000 से ज्यादा है तभी वो टैक्सेबल ब्रैकेट में आएगा, और टैक्सेबल ब्रैकेट में आएगा तो इसका मतलब उसकी मॉनेटरी पेमेंट्स 50,000 से ऑटोमेटिकली इंक्रीज हो गई. तो स्पेसिफाइड एम्प्लॉय एक फॉर्म में ये प्रोविजन आपका सुपरफिशियल हो जाता है. तो आपकी परक्विजिट्स आपकी सब में टैक्सेबल होंगी होंगी. सिर्फ आपको उस टाइम बस अगर कोई क्वेश्चन में या थ्योरी में स्पेसिफाइड एम्प्लॉय का मीनिंग आ जाता है तो देन यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. देन सेक्शन 17(2) के अंदर फोर्थ पॉइंट कहता है कि एनी सम पेड बाय द एम्प्लॉयर इन रिस्पेक्ट ऑफ एनी ऑब्लिगेशन which but such payment would have been payable by the assessee. अब इस परक्विजिट का क्या मतलब है? इस परक्विजिट का मतलब है मॉनेटरी ऑब्लिगेशन ऑफ द एम्प्लॉय met by employee, of the employee met by the employer. अब इसका मतलब क्या होता है कि सपोज एम्प्लॉयर ने कोई सर्वेंट, कोई वॉचमैन, कोई गार्डनर एंगेज किया, अब उसकी सैलरी एम्प्लॉय ने एंगेज किया तो उसकी सैलरी देना किसकी ऑब्लिगेशन है? एम्प्लॉय की. अगर एम्प्लॉय के बच्चे स्कूल में पढ़ने जा रहे हैं तो वो ऑब्लिगेशन किसकी है? एम्प्लॉय की. तो अगर इस फॉर्म के अंदर या तो एम्प्लॉयर डायरेक्ट पेमेंट दे देता है, राइट, या फिर उस एक्सपेंडिचर को रीइम्बर्स कर देता है, तो दोनों ही सिचुएशन में वो आपका बेनिफिट या परक्विजिट माना जाएगा जो कि आपका टैक्सेबल होगा. सो इट मींस कि अगर कोई भी सम एम्प्लॉयर पे कर रहा है किसी भी फॉर्म में, जिस उस ऑब्लिगेशन के लिए जो ऑब्लिगेशन असेसी की या एम्प्लॉय की है, उस ऑब्लिगेशन को पे अगर कर रहा है एम्प्लॉयर, so this will be known as the under the definition of the perquisite, and we have to find out the taxable value of perquisite. और taxable value क्या होती है? amount paid और amount reimbursed by the employer. ठीक है, तो ये कैटेगरीज हम बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे, बट राइट नाउ वी आर जस्ट ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड द डेफिनेशन ऑफ द परक्विजिट. तो डेफिनेशन ऑफ द परक्विजिट एज पर सेक्शन 17 सबसेक्शन 2, सबसे पहली परक्विजिट आ गई आपकी रेंट फ्री अकोमोडेशन, दूसरी परक्विजिट आ गई अकोमोडेशन प्रोवाइडेड एट कंसेशनल रेंट, तीसरी परक्विजिट आ गई परक्विजिट टैक्सेबल फॉर स्पेसिफाइड एम्प्लॉयज. Then there comes any monetary obligation of the employee met by the employer. Then next in the definition of perquisite, any sum payable by the employer whether directly or through fund other than recognized provident fund or an superannuation fund or a deposit linked insurance scheme to affect an assurance to the life of the assessee or to affect the contract of an annuity. What does it mean? It means कि अगर कोई भी अमाउंट ऑफ प्रीमियम एम्प्लॉयर ने पे किया है टू अफेक्ट एन एश्योरेंस टू द लाइफ ऑफ द असेसी और अफेक्ट द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ एन एनुटी, तो अगर इस तरह का कोई भी प्रीमियम एम्प्लॉयर ने एम्प्लॉय के लिए पे किया है अदर देन आरपीएफ, सुपर एनुएशन प्रोविडेंट फंड, डिपॉजिट लिंक्ड इंश्योरेंस फंड, इन तीनों को छोड़ के, बिकॉज these are the funds which employer is taking the advantage or benefit in this case. तो इन तीनों फंड्स को छोड़ के अगर अलग से एम्प्लॉयर ने कोई भी प्रीमियम पे किया है एम्प्लॉय के लिए, तो वो आपकी परक्विजिट हो जाएगी, और वो परक्विजिट आपकी टैक्सेबल हो जाएगी। जितना भी अमाउंट एम्प्लॉयर ने पे किया है, that amount of premium is going to be considered as the benefit provided by the employer, that is not exempt under the act, and this is going to be taxable under this head, under as per the meaning of perquisite section 17 subsection 2. राइट, आई होप अप टिल नाउ द मीनिंग ऑफ परक्विजिट इज क्लियर। उसके बाद आपका आ जाता है कि स्पेसिफाइड सिक्योरिटी और स्वेट इक्विटी शेयर्स अगर आपका डायरेक्टली और इनडायरेक्टली एम्प्लॉयर ने आपके नाम पे ट्रांसफर किए हैं, या फॉर्मर एम्प्लॉयर ने फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट या कंसेशनल रेट पे वो आपको ट्रांसफर किए हैं, तो अगर फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट ट्रांसफर किए हैं तो मार्केट वैल्यू ऑन द डेट ऑफ द ट्रांसफर विल बिकम द वैल्यू ऑफ परक्विजिट। और अगर आपका कंसेशनल रेट पे किए हैं, तो जितना आपको उससे बेनिफिट हुआ है या जितना आपको कंसेशन मिला है, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी टैक्सेबल। सपोज 100 शेयर्स of rupees 200 each has been transferred, so this is the value of the sweat equity shares on that particular day, it is 20,000 rupees। तो अगर वो फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट की है तो 20,000 आपका टैक्सेबल हो जाएगा, और अगर दिस स्वेट इक्विटी शेयर्स ऑफ 20,000 have been provided for 5,000 rupees, सो इट मीन्स 15,000 का बेनिफिट हो गया। तो इसके सारे जो डिटेल्ड प्रोविजंस हैं कि हाउ दिस इज कैलकुलेटेड, किस सिचुएशन में कौन सी वैल्यू कंसिडर करेंगे, सो ऑल दीज डिटेल्ड प्रोविजंस वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस इन द कमिंग क्लासेस। Then after that, the another form of perquisite comes in case of approved superannuation fund। तो लास्ट क्लास में भी हमने जब प्रोविडेंट फंड्स का डिस्कस किया था, तो उसमें डिस्कस किया था कि अप्रूव्ड सुपरएन्युएशन फंड में अगर एम्प्लॉयर 1.5 लाख से ज़्यादा कंट्रीब्यूट करता है, तो अप टू 1,50,000 आपका एग्जाम्प्ट हो जाएगा, और 1,50,000 से ज़्यादा अगर अप्रूव सुपरएन्युएशन फंड में एम्प्लॉयर कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहा है, so that excess amount is going to be taxable as an additional benefit given by the employer to the employee, और जो भी वैल्यू हमारी एडिशनल बेनिफिट के फॉर्म में आती है वो आपकी परक्विजिट के डेफिनेशन में आ जाती है। Then after that, the last form of perquisite is any kind of other fringe benefit or amenities as may be prescribed. तो जिसके इसके अलावा there can be different forms, and over the period of year different form of benefits or perquisites have come into existence। so जितनी भी हमारे benefits और amenities आपकी further एम्प्लॉय को प्रोवाइड होंगी, तो वो भी आपकी टैक्सेबल हो जाएंगी। So in this case, we can just see that the on the basis of the taxability of the perquisite, it can be classified into 3 categories. One, perquisite taxable for all the employees. तो इसके अंदर आप RFA, concessional accommodation, then you can take the monetary obligation, then you can consider as I have told you कि specified employees वाली भी almost all के लिए ही taxable हो जाएगी। Then you can take the insurance benefits, then you can take the fringe benefits, right? You can take the approved superannuation fund case। तो ये सारी की सारी परक्विजिट्स आपकी ऑल एम्प्लॉयज के लिए टैक्सेबल हो जाएंगी। एंड परक्विजिट्स टैक्सेबल फॉर स्पेसिफाइड एम्प्लॉयज के अंदर जर्नली आपकी आ जाती हैं कार परक्विजिट आ जाती है, एजुकेशनल फैसिलिटी आ जाती है, फैसिलिटी ऑफ वॉचमैन, गार्डनर, स्वीपर एक्सेट्रा आ जाती है। देन देयर कैन बी सर्टेन काइंड ऑफ अदर फैसिलिटीज as well in case of the specified employee। but for specified employees के लिए वो कब टैक्सेबल होंगी, जब उस वो कंपनी में या तो डायरेक्टर होगा या उसके मॉनेटरी वॉल्यूम में इक्विटी शेयर्स के अंदर 20% से ज़्यादा होगा, वोटिंग राइट 20% से ज़्यादा होगा, और जो मॉनेटरी मॉल्यूमेंट्स हैं वो 50,000 से ज़्यादा होंगे। तो इन 3 केसेस में वो स्पेसिफाइड एम्प्लॉय होगा, और ऑल दीज परक्विजिट्स आर टैक्सेबल। अदरवाइज इफ ही इज नॉट स्पेसिफाइड एम्प्लॉय, कि उसके मॉनेटरी और मॉल्यूमेंट 50,000 से कम है, उसके पास इक्विटी शेयर्स भी नहीं है और डायरेक्टर भी नहीं है, तो उस केस में ये सारी परक्विजिट्स जो हैं वो टैक्स फ्री हो जाती है, एग्जम्प्ट हो जाती हैं। बट अगर हम बात करें कि वो एसएससी है और असेसी टैक्सेबल स्लैब में आ रहा है, तो हमारी मिनिमम मैक्सिमम 2.5 लाख की हमें एग्जाम्पशन होती है कि अगर आपके एमोल्यूमेंट्स 2.5 लाख से तक हैं तो आपके ऊपर कोई टैक्स नहीं लगेगा। टैक्स स्लैब स्टार्ट ही आपका 2,50,000 एंड अबव इनकम पे होता है। तो उस केस के अंदर अगर वो टैक्स स्लैब में आ रहा है तो ऑटोमेटिकली ये 50,000 वाली कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई होगी। और अगर ये 50,000 वाली कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई हो गई, so it means all these perquisites are going to taxable in his case, right? Then the third category is tax free perquisites for all the employees. So in this case we will discuss that what are the different kind of perquisites which are exempt and which are not going to be taxable. तो उस केस के अंदर आपको अगर टैक्स फ्री perquisites क्वेश्चन में दी हुई हैं तो either you write about that particular perquisite and you put a dash in the amount column, so it will show that this is exempt. If you are not using this format, then at the end of the question you give a note and you mention that particular perquisite which you have not taken in the gross salary and why you have not taken, in which provision it is exempt or it is not taxable. So it is always advisable that if it is exempt and you are doing the question manually, so then in that case you write the name of the perquisite, you take the entry and you write it as nil, so that it is considered that it is exempt. Or even in this bracket you can mention the value exempt or tax free. So it in this case you will not get any possibility of missing any entry in the question. So this way we have the this particular perquisites. So now I think let's discuss about the first perquisite, which is rent free house or rent free accommodation. Okay. So now we are discussing the very first perquisite under section 17, subsection 2. So now we say it as valuation or calculating the taxable value of rent free accommodation. This is also known as RFA as well. तो एक क्वेश्चन आपका आ जाता है कि एम्प्लॉय जो है HRA को ऑप्ट करे व्हेन वी गो फॉर द पर्सनल टैक्स प्लानिंग, और द अकोमोडेशन विल गिव यू more benefit or less tax value. So then you have to calculate the taxable income considering both the options and which option is showing the less income. Then you are going to suggest that which particular form of income is to be taken. And for that thing you will be able to do it only when you know how to calculate the taxable value of RFA. So when we talk about RFA, the very first thing you have to see is that whether the accommodation is furnished or unfurnished, because you have to keep in mind the rules of adding the value of the furniture. Then you have to see that whether the accommodation is owned by the employer or has been taken on rent on by the employer. Then you also have to see the category of the employee, whether the employee is a government employee or non government employee. Then we have to understand in certain cases that what is the area where the accommodation is situated, or what is the population of that particular area for calculating the taxable value of the perquisite. And also if the accommodation is being provided in on the rate of the concessional rate, or we can say that the some amount is being charged, then in that case you have to calculate the amount first and you have to reduce that particular amount which is charged on account of the accommodation. So I hope this much is clear to all of you, right? So now we move towards the calculation of the rent-free accommodation. So step one is that whether the employee is the government employee or non-government employee. So if the employee is a government employee, then in that particular case, what we have to see that whatever is the rental value of the particular property, the license fee or license fee decided by the government is going to be the taxable value of the perquisite. For example, you have got a bungalow in a particular very posh area of Green Park, but the government has fixed the rent of that bungalow at the rate of rupees 1000 per month. Then, in that case, the value of RFA is going to be rupees 12,000, which will be included in the gross salary. Is it clear that once we see first thing that the employee is a government employee, in that particular case, we have to calculate the value of the rent free accommodation, and the rent free accommodation would be on the basis of license fee decided by the government. Whatever is the value of the property, how big it is, or whatever is, we can say that the whichever area in the area it is, or how posh or big area is, does not matter. Whatever is the license fee determined by the government is going to be the value of the RFA. So this we are talking about the value of RFA, which is unfurnished. We are not adding the cost of the furniture. So first we are understanding the value, or we are trying to understand calculation of the unfurnished accommodation. So I hope it is clear to all of you. Can you please write down in chat box
Yes, ma'am.
if the
Clear.
concept is clear, so all the students can write in the chat box up till now whatever we have discussed. Very good. Yes. Good. Good going. Meaning of perquisite we have discussed till now. We have discussed about the we can say which kind of perquisites can be there, or how to calculate the value of RFA in case of the government employees. Right, very good. Let's move further. Then we have to understand that once we have discussed that in case of a government employee, this is going to be, we can say, taxable as per the license fee. Then secondly, that under what circumstances it is going to be tax free. Accommodation मिली हुई है, but it is not at all taxable. In certain cases this is license fee, but in case of in certain situation this is tax free. So the first one is that if it is being provided to the judges of high court or supreme court, right? So this is the accommodation given is going to be tax free. Then if the accommodation is being provided to the chief election commissioner, then it is not going to be taxable. If it is provided to the other election commissioner, it is or not going to be taxable. If it is being provided to the member of parliament or the opposition members, it is not going to be taxable. And again, it is the serving members, serving chairmans, or serving members of UPSC. So these things we have to remember, right? So this is not going to be taxable in their case, right? Then there is another situation where the accommodation is rent free accommodation is provided is going to be exempt. So if there is the stay in a hotel and this particular period is not does not exceed 15 days, and this particular facility is being provided on account of transfer, so in that particular case the accommodation, this particular facility provided by the employer is not going to be taxable. So it means that if you are being transferred from one place to the other place, and you have been allowed to stay in the hotel for 15 days period or more, the amount is reimbursed by the employer or met by the employer. So if the accommodation is being provided for 15 days period, that is going to be fully exempt. If more than 15 period, it is going to be taxable. Then in that case, if you are being transferred from one place to other place, and you are in the occupancy of two accommodations provided by the employer, because earlier you were staying in Delhi, working in Delhi. Now you are being shifted to Mumbai office, and you are being provided an accommodation there as well. So in that case, you have the two accommodation. So you can opt any of the accommodation for 90 days period. 90 days period के लिए दोनों accommodation exempt रहेंगी, and beyond that if you keep those accommodation, you're still in the custody of the accommodation, so one is going to be fully taxable and one is going to be exempt as per the rule, depending upon the choice. So in that case, for 90 days period, this two accommodations are going to be exempt or tax free. Then if the accommodation is provided in a remote area, right, so in that case it is not going to be taxable, right? After that, there is, if let me continue with this. Then another situation is that if the accommodation is being provided in a hotel or motel or guest house, and this is definitely going to be the furnished one. So in this particular case, 24% of salary payable for that period, or actual amount of expenditure incurred, whichever is lower, is going to be the value of perquisite. Actual amount of expenditure incurred by the employer, whichever is lower, shall be considered as the value of perquisite. Whichever is lower shall be value of perquisite. ठीक है, सो ये आपकी कैटेगरी आ जाती है मोर और लेस आपकी, जहां पर assumptions आपकी आ जाती है. फॉर एग्जांपल इन केस ऑफ गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉय, जो भी लाइसेंस फी आपकी डिसाइड होगी वो आपकी परक्विजिट वैल्यू हो जाएगी. In these cases, if the accommodation is being provided to this category, it is going to be tax free. If this is provided for an account of transfer in hotel stay, so up to 15 days it is exempt. If you are in the occupancy of more than one accommodation on account of transfer, then in that case, for 90 days it is going to be exempt. And in this case, if the accommodation is being provided in hotel, etc., then in that case it is going to be exempt. It is going to be taxable on the basis of the rule, 24% of the salary payable for that particular period, or actual amount of expenditure incurred. Now, the next perquisite or next calculation which we have to discuss is the calculation of RFA for the non government employees. Means we say government employee है तो उस केस में लाइसेंस फी डिसाइडेड बाय द गवर्नमेंट आपकी टैक्सेबल हो जाएगी, और अगर वो नॉन गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉय है तो उस केस के अंदर हमें क्या देखना है, दैट वेदर द अकोमोडेशन इज ओन्ड और हायर. ठीक है, तो अगर वो अकोमोडेशन ओन्ड है तो उस केस के अंदर आपकी जो सैलरी, जो आपकी आरएफए की वैल्यू है वो आपकी हो जाएगी 15% ऑफ सैलरी, और 10% ऑफ सैलरी, और 7.5% ऑफ सैलरी, और 7.5% ऑफ सैलरी. अब 15% ऑफ सैलरी कहाँ होगी, जहां पर आपकी जो पॉपुलेशन है इट इज मोर देन 25 लाख. ठीक है, और इसके अंदर 10% कहाँ होगी, जहां आपकी पॉपुलेशन मोर देन 10 लाख है बट लेस देन 25 लाख है. And if the population is less than 10 lakh, then it is going to be 7.5% of the salary. And if the accommodation is higher, so there is only one rate, 15% of salary, or rent paid, whichever is less, shall be the value of RFA. Whichever is less shall be the value of RFA. Right? So now what is the salary or how it is to be calculated? This is we are going to discuss in the next class. So up till now, we have discussed the meaning of perquisite, and we have discussed about the RFA, in what which cases it is going to be examined, and value of RFA in case if it is provided in case of government employee, or in case of it is being provided in hotel, motel, or guest house. So we till now with respect to the calculation of taxable value of the RFA, we have learned this one. And in case of non-government employee, we have discussed the first criteria, that is on the basis of the ownership. If the accommodation is owned by the employer, then if the population is more than 25 lakh, तो इस केस में 15% ऑफ सैलरी आएगा. 10 लाख से ज़्यादा है लेकिन 25 लाख से कम है पॉपुलेशन, तो 10% ऑफ सैलरी आएगा, और 10 लाख से कम है पॉपुलेशन तो 7.5% ऑफ सैलरी आएगा. नाउ यू कैन आस्क मी वन क्वेश्चन कि मैम हमें पॉपुलेशन का कैसे पता लगेगा, वेदर इट विल बी गिवन इन द क्वेश्चन और नॉट. तो उस केस के अंदर जहाँ पर आपकी पॉपुलेशन इस कैटेगरी में फॉल करेगी, सेकंड में या थर्ड में, ये क्वेश्चन में गिवन होगा. But say if we are talking about certain metro cities or big cities, so it is considered that the population is more than 25 lakhs. So even if it is not given in the question, we have to see the place and we have to use this logic. Then in that particular case, we have to understand how we are going to calculate the particular value, right? And if the accommodation is hired by the employer, so in that case only one value of the salary will be taken, 15% of salary, or rent paid, whichever is less shall be the taxable value of the perquisite. So now what will be the meaning of salary for RFA? So it is not RBS salary or just the basic salary. So meaning of salary we have to understand, and as well as we are going to discuss the practical question in all these situations, whether it is owned or rented, or in case of a government employee, or in case of non-government employee. So the house class is open for your queries, and we will be discussing the we can say the your doubts related to up till now what we have discussed now. And in case you don't have any doubts, so we'll continue the same topic tomorrow, and we'll discuss the practical questions as well.